I'd like to welcome you to this edition of In the Conference Room with Mark S. Lee. I hope you are having a great day. We want you to sit back and relax and enjoy the conversation as we do each and every single week. My name is Mark S. Lee. I'm your host for the conference room, and we're going to continue with great guests as we do. And today is no exception. All my guests are great and certainly exceptional. But this particular case, I want to talk about a young man, the president of First Independence Bank, or talk with a young man, the president of First Independence Bank, an inspiring story that he has, of course. Mr. Dimitrius Hutcherson. Demetrius, thanks for joining me in the conference room. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Mark. Thanks for having me in the conference room. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you.
It's always a pleasure. And before we start down the journey with you and your background, you and I were just chatting about an inspirational event that just took place early this week. Please
Yes,
share with the audience about this very special occasion that I was honored to attend, and you were obviously there as well.
absolutely. Mark, I'm telling you, these are exciting times in banking. And an exciting times for First Independence Bank. We had the opportunity to participate in a reception where the CEO and chairman of First Independence Bank, Kenneth Kelly, was being honored. He is being honored. He was being honored because he was installed about 2 weeks ago as the chairman of the board of the American Bankers Association. The American Bankers Association is the trade organization for all the banks that represent about 25 trillion, and I'll say that word trillion in assets
With a T.
with a T. And the historical significance is this. This is a 150-year-old organization, and Chairman Kelly was the first person of color to be in this role. So it's a testimony to his ability to lead and inspire people and his ability to really collaborate and get things done. And I am, my journey at First Independence is, and we will talk a little bit about that. It really mirrors just his ability to inspire people to follow and really lead, work and walk down a path with the vision that he has set to make things better and to make banking better.
So we understand again, congratulations to Chairman Kelly. And also, it was in the city of Detroit, and so we talk about serendipity almost. Obviously, the city of Detroit just elected its first female mayor in the 300 plus
Mhm.
history of the great city of Detroit. So you're talking about the perfect worlds coming together, if you will, in terms of Chairman
Indeed.
Kelly at the ABA and certainly the mayor-elect now, Mary Sheffield. Your comments.
Great time. And so we have the word, there's the word first in First Independence, and the first can be attached to Kenneth's role as the chairman of the board of the American Bankers Association. The word first can be attached to Mayor-elect Mary Sheffield as the first female mayor in the city of Detroit. And what this in a lot of ways is just, it speaks to the ability of individuals that have the innate ability to inspire people and to follow and believe in the vision and the direction where they want to take their respective organizations. Chairman Kelly and the American Bankers Association, Mayor elect Sheffield, leading the city of Detroit. So first, and we're proud. Where I'm excited for her. I look forward to seeing and supporting her and her efforts to continue the great work that has been done to transform our great city that we love so dearly.
And let's talk about great work, and let's talk about you, Demetrius Hutcherson. You're the president of First Independence Bank. You've had a truly inspiring career, a wonderful career in the banking and finance industry, if you will. Talk about your journey. We're going to unpack your personal journey throughout the entire
Yeah.
conversation here, but talk about your personal journey into banking and finance and what initially drew you into that world, in that particular industry.
Well, Well, Mark, my journey in banking, it really goes back to the my time at Morehouse College when I was a finance major. And I was, looking at the upperclassmen. I was looking at things that they were doing. I was looking at jobs that they were taking, and a lot of them they took jobs in banking. And the individuals that were high performers were the individuals that I tried to model myself and model my career aspirations after. So I followed them into banking, made my way to back to Detroit, and started at a bank that you know about, NBD Bank. And I initially started as a management trainee. Transferred into credit, went through was a very well known and respected commercial loan officer training program. And I had my first commercial loan assignment at a branch that I know you know, Grand River and Finkel, where your dad, rest in peace, and who was one of my mentors and a great man, Aubrey Lee Sr. was the regional director. Learned a lot from him. That helped really jumpstart my career. Had additional lending assignments, and I left the bank after about 10 years to go pursue my MBA full time at the Harvard Business School. And after I finished Harvard, I pivoted into management consulting, pivoted into some big jobs at some publicly traded companies leading strategic planning, tech and ops, and went back into banking, then did some private equity consulting, and ultimately made my way back to Detroit after I'd been on the East Coast for about 25 years. Had some phenomenal jobs, had global roles, but I felt it was a great time to come back home. And I initially landed at Comerica and then got a call from Kelly to talk about First Independence, the vision he had on trying to grow and transform the bank. And after talking with him, I knew, I believed in First Independence, I always knew about the bank, and ultimately took this job because it was at this point in my journey, it was the right time to be at the bank and the right place to be.
And talk about leading the Black bank in your hometown. Talk about the importance of that, and particularly a bank that has a vital role within the community.
Mark, what I can tell you is being president, I'm a Detroiter. I'm a proud Detroiter. I grew up on the east side, Detroit Public Schools, Cass Tech. And so for me, coming back home, working at First Independence Bank, being a leader, ultimately being the president, it's not only an honor, it's a responsibility. It extends far beyond traditional banking because we are stewards of a proud legacy that began over 55 years ago. And we are providing financial access, equity, and empowerment to our communities that have historically been underserved. And so I'm leading a team of dedicated professionals that have that same commitment to this community. And it's not just about banking, it's about transformation, really helping make lives better. So last thing I'll say, I'm charged with ensuring that the bank continues to grow, innovate, and remain competitive in a market without never losing sight of our purpose to be a beacon of hope and a trusted financial partner that can build generational wealth for families that bank with us.
And we hear about this phrase called financial empowerment. What does that mean?
Well, financial empowerment is really, giving individuals the tools that they need to position themselves for a piece of the American dream. Your father told me that he would always say, knowledge is power. And being empowered with knowledge puts you in the ability to make decisions that can dictate and manage. You allows you to manage your life, your professional wealth, and create a stream of income that can help your life, your family, and your life over a period of years.
You mentioned the famed Cass Tech. Yes, I'm a native Detroiter as well, and like you, it was awesome. I'm so happy to be home. I've been home for a long time now. But the famed Cass Tech High School, for those of you tuning across the country, I'm sure you probably heard about Cass Tech High School, certainly still thriving to this day. It's my understanding that you're going to be acknowledged and recognized by your alma mater. Is that right? Talk
Yeah,
about this acknowledgement and what it means to you from your high school.
man. So, Mark, you know how Cass Tech people are, first and
Ah, yes,
foremost.
yes.
Okay, proud people. but and you know, it's the Tech been around over 100 years, and it's an honor. It's probably, I mean, this probably ranks as one of the proudest and most humbling honors that you can get. I mean, when I think about being in that big building, walking those halls, you learn the virtues of excellence, uh, uh, ambition, because you're there at a school that you had to test to get in, and you're with a lot of brilliant people that are ambitious and that are going places. And if you look at the long list, and for me to be following a legacy of Detroiters that have achieved high marks is humbling. It's an honor, and I'm just delighted to have to be thought well enough of to receive such recognition, and I'll cherish it. I cherish it. I will continue to try to do all that I can to represent this school, um, and I'm giving back to the school, and I'll try to represent it and just teach all of the students that are there that it's never about how you start, but how you finish. You can come from the east side of Detroit and make your way through a variety of different places and be successful. So
And for
that
those
it
of
means
you
a lot.
And for those of you tuning in, I neglected to say Dimitrius Hutcherson Day will be held at Cass Tech in his honor. So congratulations, very well deserved for sure. I want to kind of segue into your philosophy on leadership. Your philosophy on leadership. You're running obviously a major institution, one of the largest Black institutions in the country. As we think about the banking industry, it has evolved over time, right? So, talk about the evolution of the industry using your leadership philosophy. You have a wonderful leadership philosophy. And how does that philosophy really lead you in this period of evolution within the industry?
Mark, that's a great question, and I'll tell you, over my career, I've had the opportunity to work for some phenomenal leaders. Your dad being one of them, a number of people. I could mention some of them, but if I don't mention everybody else, I have to mention your dad because the importance that he was early in my career. But there were a lot of great qualities that I picked up from a lot of these individuals who were mentors of mine. And I tried to model myself and my behavior after that. And when it came to leading, I tried to have a servant leader style, to be, when I had to be decisive, but always think about and put my people in a position to be successful, but holding them accountable. But the people being your greatest asset, always thinking about them, putting them in places where they can be successful, but always recognizing and rewarding them. I worked for some individuals who weren't necessarily the greatest leaders. And what I learned from them is behaviors that I wouldn't necessarily want to emulate. So I tried to create a leadership style that would uh, have an open door policy, collaboration, and just the ability to keep people excited about what they're doing, position them for growth, and like CEO Chairman Kelly, be a strong enough and inspiring enough of a person where they would want to follow you and really lead change. So transformation is something that I got involved in early in my career. You know, you skin your knees a little bit, but I learned a lot and I had success from it. So I boxed it up and created a style of leading, of managing, and thinking that I think has helped me get to where I am today. So, and look, intellectual curiosity, a willingness to listen to others, and a willingness to help people work towards a solution that ultimately will benefit the overall organization and our customers, because the customer has always been important, and we at First Independence try and keep the customer in the center of the circle of life for what we do.
Just joining us, we're talking to Dimitrius Hutcherson. He's the president of First Independence Bank, headquartered in Detroit, and expanded to Minnesota as well. Great things that's going on at the financial institution, which I do want to kind of segue briefly into a conversation or get your perspective on misconceptions of a minority-owned slash community based bank. What would you like for people to know about minority-owned and community-based institutions? One that certainly one that you're leading.
Well, another great question. The one thing that I like to let individuals know is that we're in the customer service business. We are definitely and unapologetically committed to our community. We are clearly going to try to approach things with the common touch, and really trying to be about service and service oriented. However, one of the things that we do is we pride ourselves on not necessarily, being going the extra mile and going above and beyond. Like some of the big banks, there are instances where we may not have an answer that is going to solve for every customer dilemma or problem that they have. There's some loans that we just may not be able to make for a customer at a certain point in the life cycle of their business. However, we don't just turn them down and say that's all we can do. In those instances, we try to find other alternative ways to help them find a solution and position them such that when they're ready to come back to us, we're there to receive them with open arms. Our, so I'll say we're not the lender of last resort, but we are definitely a lender that we want them to be able to come to and help them think through problems that maybe another financial institution may not approach it that way or think about it that way. Being a community-oriented bank, we take pride, and we will put the time in to help solve and work through some of the challenges that they may have. So I think that's the thing that differentiates us from others.
And you've had many initiatives under your leadership with the outstanding leadership team that you have down there in the city, obviously, and of course, across Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota. What can you identify a key initiative that was truly transformative for the bank as well as for its customers?
Okay, I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna touch on a couple of things. One of the biggest things that we did, and I'm really proud of it, is we partnered with Operation Hope, a company that does a lot of financial wellness planning and seminars, to create a program where we have individuals that are financial well-being coaches in our offices, and they in Minnesota and in Michigan, where they would help individuals that were trying to position and prepare themselves for home ownership, you know, get back to financial health and stability. They may have a credit score that due to circumstances had blemishes, and we would help. Our well-being coaches would help them with ways that they can prepare that, reposition themselves for home ownership, and the well-being coaches would meet with them, do progress checks back and forth, and see them through the point where they be positioned for home ownership. Another initiative that we did during COVID, we were one of the first to open up a bank on account, a second chance bank account, a second chance bank account, and for the underbanked, those that didn't have bank accounts, or individuals that had accounts but didn't necessarily handle it properly. We opened up that account, and it was during the COVID period, so that people wouldn't have to go to check cashing stores and pay exorbitant fees to cash checks. And it was a way of establishing a banking relationship, reestablishing a banking relationship for some. Lastly, another big initiative that I, directly led was a partnership where we partner with a publicly traded company, Mass Mutual Great Lakes. We now offer financial and investment services, mutual funds, financial advisors, certified financial planners to work with our customers. Prior to this being established, we would have to refer them to the Merrill Lynch's, the Goldman Sachs, or the Ameriprises of the world. But we now have a partner that we work directly with that provide those services. So those are things that have been extremely beneficial in making our products sticky and keeping customers attached to us.
And before we move into the final part of our conversation, talk about in terms of the future, your vision as you think about the future of First Independence Bank.
Well, we have a saying. There's a couple of things that we talk about. At First Independence Bank, you can bank, invest, and grow. We entered the Minnesota market about 3 years ago, and we're delighted that we did because that's been an extremely beneficial move for us and for the community that we serve. It's our hope that there will be additional opportunities to expand and grow like that. We will do other things and create some affinity programs and marketing programs to try and leverage our mobile banking platform to try and draw and attract millennials, and because everybody wants to use their tablets and their phone and their phones to to do all their banking activities. We're going to do more marketing to, I guess, to publicize our products and try to attract and draw more individuals that way. I'll say, hopefully, at the appropriate time, ways to expand in other states when the time is right, and just draw and attract additional customers through our technology platform and our digital banking platform. So those are
And before,
things that we're working on, and we'll be also refreshing our website that will probably have a newer and slicker feel.
and before we segue to you giving advice to our young people, I got to acknowledge you. You hear Dimitrius's leadership philosophy and the direction and his thoughts and things like that. And I got to acknowledge you again for another major achievement. You were recently recognized by the Michigan Chronicle Power 50 Business Leaders in Finance. What does that award and recognition mean for you, both personally and for the entire team at First Independence Bank?
Well, yeah, I have to thank the CEO and chairman, Kelly, the board of directors, for their faith and their confidence in me, for putting me in this position where I can leverage my talents, my ability to lead, and for people to trust my leadership ability to follow me. That's all that is possible through their faith and confidence in me. But being acknowledged by the Michigan Chronicle it's so meaningful because they have for generations champion Black leadership, Black excellence, and impact in the community. So for me, this honor again is one of my proudest honors that I could achieve. It signifies professional success, but being thought of as an influencer and a person that's committed to the community, to the community. It represents a personal commitment that I to mentor people, to collaborate, and be an advocate for our community. But also, I work tirelessly, as you do, and we talk about this to ensure that the next generation of leaders have access to the same types of things that we had along our way. So it means a lot.
Well, congratulations to you and the team. And as we segue, I want to segue to our final moments and talk about young people and mentoring, the importance of mentors. You mentioned you've had mentors throughout your career. What advice did they give you that you would like to pass on to other people, and in particular, the younger or the next generation of leaders?
The things that I want to share with this next generation of individuals is always bet on yourself, always believe in yourself, never get down. You're gonna you may get knocked down, but how you get back up and respond is what will dictate how things go for you. Continue to be intellectually curious. Continue to want to learn more, and continue to try to push the envelope, but also stay within the parameters within the organization that you are working in. But don't be afraid to make mistakes. And more importantly, we live in a society where there are social media, and sometimes social media can throw shade, to use some street vernacular, on different things. Don't apologize for wanting to be excellent. Don't apologize for wanting to be a great student. don't apologize for being asked to wanting to be a leader. There are no limits to what you can achieve as long as you remain curious, be have integrity, and really think about the different paths that you can go to. Don't be afraid to fail.
That's great career advice. That's great advice for anyone in general. And again,
Mhm.
talking to our, our viewers, our listeners, but again, in particular, our younger people, talk about whatever, provide financial advice to them as well in terms of what would you share
I'm
with them?
happy. So what I'll tell you is that the what you should start doing, start saving at a young age. When I do financial well-being workshops, and I show them examples of depending on what your salary is, you can carve out smaller dollar amounts for discretionary things, for savings accounts, for insurance, because a lot of companies don't offer pensions. Put money in a 401k, and I use the term out of sight, out of mind. If you don't see it initially, you won't think about it. You have to be able to put yourself in a position where you will be able to control your own destiny. So start saving at a young age, and as your salary increases, then start increasing the amount that you sock away for vacations, for retirement, for a summer home, or for a home. And once you get a home, if you want to make an addition to that home, or you want to get a bigger home, you have to save for that, or for family. But start these things at a young age. And there's a lot of ways that you can self learn on how to make financial decisions. You may not be able to afford a financial advisor right away, but in the interim, you can learn how to make investments on your own. So just be a curious learner, and really focus on those things.
Awesome advice. Last question, very last question. We know that the city is now going through a transition with a new administration resulting from the election. Talk about from your perspective, and you and I talk business all the time, and that's the conference
Mhm.
when we talk business. What is your How do you feel about the future of business in Detroit, the overall business landscape in Detroit? What are your thoughts? Are you optimistic? Are you neutral? Kind of give us your perspective on the future of the business landscape here in the city, and if you're optimistic, why?
Yeah, Mark, I'm optimistic about the city, and I'm optimistic because we are now in a position of strength where we have a leader that understands and has worked. The mayor-elect has worked, in
Mhm.
that capacity. And so, while some may say, "Well, you worked there long enough, you haven't done these things," but once you move to a different role where you can control a lot of the decisions that you had to collaborate with, and you still have to collaborate with people, but you can lean into the prior experience to really advance some of the things that you want to do. So I think the support that the voters have around the new administration. I think the support that the folks at the state level have, and the relationships that she has and will continue to build, will position the city for success. The thing that also is meaningful is that you have individuals that have put money and invested money into Detroit that they probably will never live to see the return, but they believe in the city. And that's why I'm really, really super optimistic. I think about the Hudson's building. I think about other companies that are coming. These people, they may not see that return in their lifetime, but they believe in Detroit, and they believe in the people. And so they're willing to bet on us. And we have to bet on ourselves, and be willing to bet on ourselves, and support that. So why I'm optimistic. I think there's going to be opportunity for growth and expansion. And there are programs out there, despite some of the things that are changing, that are still out there that can help us achieve the things that we want to accomplish.
And as we finally wrap up, I want to give you an opportunity one more time, well, for the first time and only time, to give the website where people can check out some of those programs and some of those products from First Independence Bank.
Well, first and foremost, go to for www.firstindependence.com, and you can go to the About Us page, and you can see some of the links where you can apply and look at consumer loans, commercial loans, retail credit cards, business credit cards. You can look at some of the community activities and things that we're doing and how what we're involved. It'll highlight our CEO and chairman and his accomplishments and recognition more recently. But you can also open an account online, checking or savings and a CD. So but start at first www.firstindependence.com, and that'll get you started to look into our online products.
Demetrius Hutcherson, always an honor. President Dimitrius Hutcherson of First Independence Bank, it's always an honor to have you in the conference room. I can talk to you all day, you know that.
You
And
know, I know, man. I know, brother. Appreciate you, Mark. Appreciate you a lot, Mark Lee. Okay.
thank you very
And
much. You're
appreciate the
awesome,
partnership,
man.
sir.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
And to everybody
Okay.
out there, thank you for tuning into this week's conference room. We will check you out next time. We're in the conference room with Mark S. Lee. Take care, everyone.
All the best.